All right, so in this video, I just want to talk about, obviously, the title. It's just my thoughts of like what it would be like to be actually in an INFP relationship, romantic relationship, not just buddies or whatever. But it's very interesting to me the more I think about it. When you have the initial thing, you're like, man, I wouldn't want to put up with myself. But like just sitting back and actually pondering it and kind of going through the motions and kind of just, doing the mind exercises, it does come off to where I have gleaned like tons of positives. I mean, obviously there's gonna be negatives with any relationship style, and there's just so many things out there. It doesn't matter what you do. You look this way, opposites attract, people that are similar. It doesn't matter. But when it comes to an INFP, the way I look at it is that, like, commonly when we're out and about and things like that, we do have the feeling of being different, and just not really understood, not accepted. The things that we do, we do need encouragement to an extent. All humans do need some kind of, encouragement to pursue their creative ventures or whatever it might be. And INFPs have an extreme urge to produce creative type things. And I find when I don't do that stuff, I'm just more depressed. So it's very important to do stuff, but again, us avoiding conflict, etc., and not many people out there accepting the stuff we're offering out there, to make the world a more colorful place and things like that. It gets very discouraging, and there's not a lot of, then you can just sink back in. And when you're left to yourself, to, kind of manage the mind and just like all the thoughts that are going on and just uplift yourself, it can be difficult. I mean, I feel that I'm very good at it. I've got processing down pretty fast. There's a lot of things that I've come over time that I do, I do feel like I'm proficient. And I'm also someone who is, can get in that road where it's like I'm content being alone. If I die alone, I'm not worried about it. It's not a big deal. It's like I don't feel like I'm gonna have a regret in a sense. But again, pondering, two exact types, and again, MBTI, basing relationships off a type, like, oh, I need to find this exact type because this website says that. You go to another website, it's gonna say that type's the worst type for you. So it doesn't matter, it's so much information, but for me, that's what I'm saying. Just in the whole scheme of, recently, just INFP, you just think about it, and for me, the two people already are generally gonna have a common understanding. So like in a relationship, you're gonna have, you put two people together, there's conflict that comes in. It just happens. There's things that comes in. But with me and things like that and how we do things, we do like, I mean, if you're an unhealthy, let's just take all the unhealthy INFPs out of the equation. If you're an unhealthy INFP, you shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody. So you do have to put the work in first. So let's just, when we start out, let's just talk about, a decent a decent level of a healthy INFP kind of person, but still has their fair shares of issues and, things like that. So, but you place those people together, you're already going to have a natural common ground. So there's not already that just, initial, like, we gotta find a way, it's going to take like a year for us to get on that common ground just for where, just like when we go out in society, it's just those people don't naturally accept us. And like, so when you're in a relationship, you want that person to accept you for who you are and things like that. And it's not to say that someone from a far distant, like-minded person or whatever, is gonna be able to never get to that point. I mean? There's plenty of comments and things like that with, in relationships with very far off types, not sharing any cognitive functions, like just ones that are just all flipped around, all crazy. Plenty of them are successful, but again, so my idea is like already there, you already have a head start. I also see that there's a lot of encouragement in the relationship. Because again, when you're in a relationship, in my view, it's not like, I don't know, I think a majority of relationships out there are more of a physical first type thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you see all that stuff on the movies, like when we get in a fight, oh, let's go have makeup sex or whatever, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff on movies. And it's just like, for me, I know always in the past, that's never been the case. If I'm in an argument with someone, and it's just, my emotional needs are not met, or I didn't have enough processing time to then, whatever the fight is, because it's going to come, you have conflicts, like I need all that downtime. So like the last thing I want to do is go engage in physical acts with somebody. Like I've never been that way. I'm like, no, I can't, no, I gotta sit there and do this. For me, I see an INFP relationship as more of a emotional first, depth, just like that's the most important part. I just think that's the most important part with any relationship. But what I see out there commonly, and just how I view a lot of relationships, is a lot of that emotional depth and like, just deep conversations and things like that, they're few and far between. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's what I just noticed. But with INFPs, you're going to be having the emotional depth capacity. That's all going to be the front runner. So it's not the physical stuff. Physical stuff's nice. You come together and you just make the whole relationship package as a whole. But like when you do that, you're satisfying. Like that's attractive to me. If I can get into where I get my emotions satisfied and just be able to cry with this person or just laugh or just all engaged in all the realm of happiness where we both basically, crave that. So we already have that to where it's like, if you're crying, then it's accepted. It's more accepted instead of like,
ooh, what's that? That's emotions. I'm gonna go run away. Like, let's go do a physical act instead. That's a lot. I don't know what you're doing over there.
But yeah, I see that. Like the emotional talks, and it could get. I'm sure there would be days where it's just both people are on like some crazy emotional ride, and you just purge like all day long. But I think it's very relieving because I know for me personally, I go run to like romantic comedies and all kinds of just emotional pulling out type movies. And that's where I kind of use that because I don't have friends. I don't necessarily go find someone I can confide in. So, I hang out with my 11-year-old daughter, but I'm not going to sit there and just go into emotional depth talk and, okay, daddy's going to vent now. So I go run to like movies and things like that to where I can get some kind of connection with that movie that relates to, real world experience and my past and things like that. And I can purge out emotions and but it's healthy for me. I feel like I need to do that every once in a while. So when you have an emotional suppressed relationship, that's not always the best because you're not getting it out. When you have an INFP, it creates that avenue to where you don't need a movie anymore. You have another person that accepts it and wants it and craves it, and they want that side of you. They want the dark, like the sadness and all that. They want to be able to, they want to take that on. Like I know that's how I am when I find someone that's sad or upset. Like I take that on as my own thing. So like if I have like an actual partner that I super care about and love and all that stuff, it creates this thing to where we both just kind of, our goal is to make the other person happy. Like it is. And it's like a lot of people are in it for themselves and things like that. But like I know when I truly care about someone and they fit in my circle, my FI circle and all this, people outside of that, yeah, it's going to be, I'm still going to help people and things like that. But when you're in my circle, it's game on. Like all the glove, it's just like I'm going to do everything I can to make that person happy. So when they actually are accepting of that and not push me away and just like, I don't want your little emotional help kind of nonsense, it's more encouraging because then you just feed off each other and you're just like, okay, you go, I go. It's just back and forth. And again, the depths of the conversation, or it's just going to be never endless because like INFPs are natural explorers. So like when we go out and about in the world, it's like, it's cool because, like I don't want to have a relationship with my exact self. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't look at it that way because INFPs are portrayed as a very chameleon-like, just like no one INFP is exactly the same and no person is the same. It doesn't matter what type you are. Everyone's different. Everyone has different perspectives, life experiences, age ranges, whatever it is. But when with INFPs, I really do believe that there's a drastic difference in just like one INFP is really not like the other INFP. Just because of, our need to explore and just learn all kinds of different things, which that, the preferences and life system that we use to go find all that stuff and just kind of piece together, like who we are, it creates that thing to where it's like, yeah, we're an INFP, but we're extremely different. So that to me creates that opposites attract kind of thing. But still on a relatable type vibe, an understanding foundation, emotional foundation, and things like that. So I know I've talked to some of you guys in the comment section, and I've found that you guys have dabbled or are currently in an INFP relationship. And anytime that topic comes up, I listen closely. I'm just kind of intrigued and intent because I'm just like, you know what? When you first initially think of it, you're just like, ooh, that would not be good because I'm a mess personally. But why are we a mess? I mean, a lot of it's going out in society and this and that and just getting suppressed and beaten down. But what if you're encouraged? What if you're you, but like all the stuff you're willing to give another person and receive and just you crave all that stuff? What if you have that person also and encouraging that out of yourself? Like to me, that's what I look at. That's my biggest intrigue. I'm like, wow, that sounds like a huge relief and just burden off my shoulders. And it sounds, and you're going to have your own lives. Like you're going to get to a point where it's like you do share that same bond connection, very loyal, trustworthy. I know for me, when I'm in a committed relationship, I will not cheat. It's completely off my radar. I am incapable of cheating. Like, I'm just, whatever. I mean, people, oh, whatever. I'm just not. I mean, it's just, that's how it's always been. But again, the trust and the loyalty and things like that, those are some things that are you're going to get more natural. It's not saying an INFP can't cheat on you. But like generally, we're extremely loyal. So you have that huge trust bond more than you would with another type, because other types, they do crave physical action and extra things they want and just all that stuff they need and whatever. But when it comes to INFPs, when they form a bond with you and you get in that circle, it's intense. It's like I'm locked on. It's like I've imprinted you, whatever that stuff is. But so yeah, I don't know, open the conversation about it. If you guys are actually experienced that, you guys can share the horror stories of it, because there are obviously negatives. I'm not trying to be ignorant and just, oh yeah, it's gonna be rainbows and sunshine and little butterflies flying around. It's not that. I'm not. But when you do actually just sit with it and think about it, it's like, it's really, in my opinion, it's really like, I don't know, it sounds awesome to me. So I don't know. But yeah, okay. I guess I'm done now. All right, you guys have a good day, and appreciate you guys watching, and just see you later.